Hi, my name is Murray Hittery. It's a pleasure to connect with you here. Today we're going to be talking about breakthrough creativity. It's been an important part of my life as both a composer, pianist, and entrepreneur. I've built companies, I create music, I create art, and it brings out the best self for me, and through that work, I look to bring out the best self in others. And through this course, you'll realize your fullest potential, your breakthrough idea. Ultimately, what this is all about is getting out of our own way. And if we can do that, if we can get out of our own way, the magic will happen. The greatest, biggest, most incredible ideas will come forth and change your life. Let's begin with an inquiry into creativity. Many of us feel that there are the haves and have-nots of creativity. Well, John, he's creative, and Jim, he's not creative. And we see people in that light, in that way. And I'd like to put forth for your consideration that all of us are unboundedly creative, and that it just takes the right approach, the process, to unleash that incredible creativity within us all. And that's what we'll focus on here today, breakthrough creativity. The universe is inherently creative. We live in a dimension that includes time. And creativity can actually only happen in the dimension of time. Creativity essentially is the demarcation of changes through time. Just in the same way that nature changes and evolves, we change and evolve, so too creativity is the demarcation of something that is in a certain state here in A, and then over time it changes into B. That is the creative process. The entire universe works in that way. And what our challenge is how do we tap into the fundamental nature of the universe at the quantum level? What physics teaches us is that all probabilities exist. Everything is possible until, through observation, through measurement, it collapses into what is, to the reality that we experience. And I believe that that is a metaphor for the creative process for us at this level of experience. We have all possibilities in front of us. But the amazing thing is, just like the way the universe creates, it has all possibilities available to it, and then that wave function that physicists talk about, the wave function of all possibility collapses into what is. And in the same way, we think creatively, we can say, well, if everything is available to me, that's great, but I can't create from that place. I must narrow the field in the same way that nature does. I must narrow the field so that I can have a choice that emerges. As we start from this place of all things are possible, while that seems very liberating and freeing, something follows very quickly after that, which is, wait a second, it's almost overwhelming. It's kind of like opening a menu from a huge deli and seeing thousands of things to order from. It becomes almost paralyzing. And so if we take a cue from the way quantum physics works, we can, as quickly as possible, start to narrow those choices. And the initial stage of the creative process is how quickly can we narrow the choices in front of us. And so let's now apply that to areas of our life that are really important. Number one, let's take our careers. Well, ultimately, any of us can do anything. I truly believe that. But at the same time, there's certain things that might suit us more than others based on our values, based on our interests, based on our passions. And so it's about identifying what it is that we're truly special at and narrowing that down further, layer by layer, until it almost becomes self-evident what it is that we should be doing, what it is that choice should be. If we look at relationships, well, at first, being single and having the ability to date anyone in the world that you want seems pretty awesome and liberating. And what people find as they mature through relationship is that as they make choice, there's a whole other level of freedom that comes from that, through a deep and committed relationship where they can explore experiences, explore emotions, explore a much deeper connection than they would be able to otherwise. This process of narrowing down choice is something that goes back many, many years. This is not only in ancient wisdom, but also in modern context. You have composers like Igor Stravinsky, one of the greatest composers of the modern era, who said that freedom is attained through limitations. He looked at music, he looked at the keyboard, and while there was an unlimited amount of possibility in front of him, by the way, in only one octave, you can create an infinite number of combinations in music. And what he said was, I must quickly narrow down that field, that choice, so that I can find freedom to express myself through music, through composition, within that limitation. Another great artist of our time, Aaron Sorkin, an incredible writer, screenwriter, he said that the first thing he does is decide what he doesn't want to write when it relates to a certain project that's in front of him. So what is he doing? He's quickly eliminating what it is that he doesn't want to do so that what he needs to do emerges from that. Well, let's look at it as an equation. The numerator is productivity, our ability to be productive creatively. And the denominator is choice. How many choices are available to us? The more choices that are available to us, then by virtue of the math, the numerator, the productivity, will be pretty small. If we reduce the number of choices, and that is to lower the denominator, to decrease the denominator, then by definition, by the math of it, the productivity, the numerator, will increase. And that is the math of creativity. I fundamentally believe that that big breakthrough idea is already within us, that it's simply a matter of going deep in order to discover it. How do we pull up that breakthrough idea? At the surface level, because we're so busy, because every single moment of our lives is scheduled, and there's no time for any space, that space between the moments of our lives, because there's no space there, everything's full. How can we expect to have anything new emerge? How can we expect to have a new idea come forth if every moment of every day is already full? So what we must do is create a space, a vacuum, an emptiness through which something can emerge. The way I think about discovery is that all the ideas I need are available to me at any time. If we think about the ocean as a metaphor, we can think of the surface as the ocean, as what we see and what's available to us in everyday life. And as we go under the surface of the ocean, as we go deeper and deeper, there are ideas just waiting for us to pull them to the surface. In order to tap into that vast, endless ocean of ideas, in order to go deeper and deeper, to find those big ideas that lie beneath the surface, it's important to have some type of practice in order to do that. That practice involves deep listening. It involves a stillness through which we can go deep within ourselves. The answers are there. The ideas are there. That big idea is sitting right there waiting for you to discover it. In meditation, in stillness practice, in listening to music, we can experience that. We can create that space. We can open up. We can shift time. We can slow down time so that that idea can emerge. It's not about forcing the idea. It's not about saying, oh, I must come up with that idea now, pressuring ourselves. If we do that, the opposite will happen. We'll just get frustrated, we'll be in a fear mode, and we'll be in a scarcity mode. And so it's important to just let go, open up, create the space. It'll show up. That idea will happen. For those of us that have a meditation practice, that is a very powerful way to go within, to create that stillness. But there are also other ways to do it. Creativity likes to emerge through different contexts. Our brain seems to be stimulated most when we change the environment we're in, when we create a space that's different than the one before. So, for instance, I find some of my best ideas might come when I'm on the airplane. They might come when I'm taking a shower. I think a lot of us have experienced that. And so it's about creating a very specific space that is separate from our everyday lives. And that, I find, is a very important part of this stillness, this deep listening. We must create the space first in order for the deep listening to take place. Meditation is a powerful way to do that because we're setting an intention, we're creating time in order to go deep. In our busy lives, it's important to create that space. I use music as a very powerful way to create that container, to create that context for stillness and deep listening. Music picks up where words leave off. While language and words are powerful in a way to express creative ideas, I find that our subconscious mind doesn't always operate in the same language as our conscious mind. And so music, for me, has the ability to go deeper, to tap into the subconscious, to that unlimited place where all ideas manifest, and bring them forth, carry them forth, handhold them from the bottom to the surface. The most important thing to do next is take action. And by take action, I mean do nothing. Literally do nothing. Create stillness for yourself. If you have an existing meditation practice, go meditate. For those that don't have a meditation practice, simply sitting still in nature or in the comfort of your own living room is all that's needed in order to experience that deep listening. You can also use music as a way to create that space for stillness, that space for magic to happen. As part of this course, I've included my mind travel video and audio experience that I've created just for you. I hope you listen to it right now and become part of this mind travel community. There are video and audio recordings. Audio is fantastic to use in the car, to use while you're traveling. It's really easy. Throw it on your phone and you can use it anywhere. Video is great too because you have visuals that bring you into the experience in a very deep way. I've specifically crafted these visuals to go with the music so that for those of you who are more visually oriented, you can go deeper even faster. And so take your pick, do them both, see what works best for you. And I wish you creative breakthroughs, the kind of which you've never had.